Okay, so this question asks how to open a document through OneDrive to write on in demonstrating for students. So, in other words, people want to know how to recreate the experience of using a whiteboard. So, I don't know that this has to be a document through OneDrive. I'm just going to show you the way that one of a couple of ways that I plan on recreating the whiteboard experience. So, it's going to be done through my WebEx because that's how we're going to be conducting live instruction every day. So, I just have a random meeting here. I left my audio off, but that's just because of the screen capture. But this would be, my WebEx. So when I want to share content with students, so if I'm walking them through a PowerPoint, if I want to hold a discussion, if I want them to see anything that's on my screen, I'm going to do that with the share option. So you can do that up here and hit share content, or you can hit this icon here. And there are different windows you can show, but just by default, I usually go to the top one. So here I am kind of in sharing mode. For those of you that have never run a WebEx or haven't done it yet, this is the mode where you're sharing your screen. And for me, I just want to have a blank background. So I can use this Word document, and then I can choose Annotate. And now my whole screen becomes a whiteboard. Right? You could play around with these different tools. You can add text, you can add straight lines and shapes, or you can just draw like you would with a marker. Right? And if the stroke is too bold, you can switch to the pencil tool. And I'm doing this with my mouse because I don't have a touch screen right now. But yeah, it's just what a whiteboard would be. And it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. And I think that's kind of the theme of this. I think some people are getting overwhelmed. I mean, so am I. Everybody's getting overwhelmed with the idea of handling all of these different pieces of technology and teaching in a way that we've never taught before. But just keep in mind, we are just trying to figure out the easiest way to get started, and then you're going to add all these different tools and all these new functionalities in as you see fit. And some of you might not add much more. Just think about how can I recreate the experience of communicating with students. So for WebEx, that's the way I would do it. Is just annotate in the software on a blank background. What you could also do is maybe instead of using the annotate tool, I'm still sharing my screen. I could open a PowerPoint, and I can draw right on that with Annotate, or I can draw on it in the software in PowerPoint. Right, so I'm not using the Annotate tool anymore. I'm still sharing my screen, but maybe this is more comfortable for you. To me, it already looks a little cleaner, but it's really just it's whatever you want. Third thing you can do, and this is tough because we haven't been in the building yet, but keep in mind that when you are sharing your screen, whatever you see, the students see. So if you use your Ladybug software, you could also just take a piece of paper, point the Ladybug at it, and start drawing on that. So whatever it is that you can display on your screen, your students will see also. So that's one of three ways that I would go ahead and go about making a whiteboard. For those of you that took Schoology Level 1 with me, you might be still thinking about using Big Blue Button. I found it to be a little glitchy the second time I showed it, so I'm kind of shying away from it. But again, in our resources page, you have a video that shows you, how to get started with Big Blue Button if you're interested. For now, I would just stick with WebEx.